Greetings, cosmic children. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Hold on. I'm real sorry, I couldn't resist. So, essentially, hi, as you can gather from the title of the video, I'm gonna be doing a video on paganism and witchcraft and Wicca, and this is, depending on how this video goes, or is received and all that, I'm going to start doing a series on on paganism and witchcraft, seeing as my channel is called Pagan Gamers, but I have been doing a lot of gaming and not a lot of pagan stuff. So, in this video, I thought I would essentially cover the basics, and to get, well, not the basics, but the basic myths about witchcraft and Wicca and that. I'll get into other topics in other videos and such. This is only to kind of dispel the myths and the realities of witchcraft and Wicca. So, those of you who have read Kate West's The Real Witch's Handbook will notice that I am using her myths topics. I won't be directly reading from her book because copyright, and also I have you know, my own opinions and stuff. So getting right into it, the first thing most people seem to associate with witchcraft and Wicca is that witchcraft and Wicca is satanic and deals with the devil. And yeah, anybody who has, you know, met me or you know, met any real witches and Wiccans and some pagans, but will know that to us there is no Satan. It's one of those Hollywood and derogatory things that a certain religion has held against us, saying, "Oh, everything you do is satanic and evil," and so essentially the point is, no, we don't do anything to do with Satan or Lucifer or any devil or anything to do with hell and stuff like that, because to us he doesn't exist. I'm going to quote a pagan meme, which is somebody who accuses a witch of worshipping Satan is exactly the same as accusing an atheist of worshipping God. We don't believe in it. It's not. Anyway, another myth that is kind of to do with that is witches and Wiccans practice black magic. Now, getting into the topic of magic, I'm going to quickly say that magic is neither black nor white. It's well, I'm going to go into magic and all of that kind of theory in another video, but essentially magic is universal energy, divine energy, and elemental energy being harnessed and then used. So saying that it's black magic is kind of like, okay, you know, I mean, so yes, some witches do black magic, but then, you know, you get nutcases in every religion, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, oh, curses and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, but then, you know, you get people from different types of paths and religions being extreme. You know, I'm not gonna bring up any particular religion because they all have their own form of extremes, you know? Even in witchcraft and paganism, every religion has nutcases. And my example for magic being neutral or black or grey, green and grey is one of our sayings, is you can take a knife. And I don't mean this in a ritualistic way, I mean take a knife. A skilled surgeon can take a type of knife and can use it to heal someone. A different person, or surgeon, whatever, can take a different knife and then make a sandwich. Or they can go on a rampage and kill a bunch of people. Is the knife evil? Is the knife black? No, it's what you do with it. It's the same sort of thing. Also, I wish to note, no, I don't do black magic. That's really counterproductive of being a witch. Also, us witches believe in the threefold law, or a form of karma, essentially, that if we do black magic, you know, it comes back on us. The repercussions, I mean, not the spell itself. It's more like, you know, I do black magic to curse someone, and oh no, I've got bad luck, you know, that's how it works. Anyway, same for good magic, you know, and it's the reason why I do exclusively good magic, or good spells rather, and good rituals, is because if I do good, you know, I get good back. That's not the reason I do good spells and good rituals. The reason I do it is because, you know, I'm a good person. That's how it works. Anyway, moving on. I've written a list of what, you know, what I'm going to be talking about. Witches and pagans sacrifice animals. Well, okay, so delving back into history, a lot of religions did do sacrificial things, you know, sacrificial rituals and magic and that, and you know, even Christianity, even other religions, you know, I'm just using Christianity as an example. I have nothing against Christianity. Please don't start some shit in the comments because I brought it up. My point is that there was ritualistic sacrifice in a lot of religions. You know, I could bring up a whole list of, you know, reasons and examples from various religious texts and stuff about sacrificing and how to do sacrificing and all this kind of stuff. Yes, it was done in the past, but we've moved on. Everybody's moved on. You don't see, nothing against Christianity, you don't see Christians doing it anymore. They used to do it. They used to, you know, if you read the Bible, it talks about, you know, how people would sacrifice an animal and then burn it and it's an offering to God. You can completely disagree with me, but it's in there. Anyway, we don't do it. Anybody who does, to me isn't a witch or a pagan. We what's the correct word? Sorry. We not celebrate it. I'm so sorry. Respect. We respect all life. It's why a lot of witches and Wiccans and pagans are vegetarian or vegan, because we don't like the idea of hurting an animal for food, you know? I mean, you know, I'm not a vegetarian or a vegan, but that's due to taste. I have a real problem with vegetables and fruit and stuff, and yes, I know there are alternatives, but the fake stuff doesn't taste as good. Also, if it came down to it, I'm sure a lot of people, if they were stuck in the wilderness and they had no choice but to eat an animal, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would give up their values and eat an animal. Now, that is if there is literally no other choice. If there is fruit or anything or vegetables that you can find in the wild, eat that, that's fine. I'm just like, whatever. I'm just like, if there is literally no choice. Anyway, moving on. Witchcraft is all about sex and nudity. Now, there seems to be a bit of a misconception here that we seem to get together and have orgies. I'm 31. I have never in my life been to an orgy or have known of an orgy happening near me or anything like that. I've never sought it out. Yes, there may be some witches and Wiccans and pagans who do attend such things, but that generally has nothing to do with their beliefs. It's generally because that's what they're into. With the orgy thing, I once again, I guess it's a derogatory or slanderous thing that was said against us, because, you know, sex is taboo. In Witchcraft, Wicca, and Paganism, I'm going to keep bringing all three up because, you know, this, I'm talking in general terms for all of them, I suppose, is that sex isn't taboo. It isn't, oh god, we can't talk about that, we can't, you know, nobody's allowed to do it or anything. For us, it's just like, well, sex is natural, you know, it's part of nature, it feels good, it brings life into the world, on and on and on with so many different things of, you know, why would, you know, I understand certain things can be, you know, inappropriate, you know, it's contextual, it's, you know, I wouldn't have sex in public, you know, anything like that. It's just like, I don't think it's shameful. And yeah, nudity. So with some covens and some groups and some solitary people, they will do their rituals or their spells or whatever skyclad. Skyclad means essentially naked, and I don't. I may have done a spell or a ritual skyclad before, but to be honest, I didn't like it, so I've not done it since. And with that instance, I did it alone inside with the with the curtains drawn. Nobody could see me. I wouldn't go outside and do it, but that's me. I suppose with some people, they do it because it's traditional or something. I understand that. That's fine, you know. Something I kind of don't agree with, but at the same time, it's down to the people themselves, is that with some covens and groups, is that being skyclad or naked is not optional. You have to do it. I'm like, but these groups are rare, you know. Some, you know, will force you. Others will be quite, you know, they'll be quite cool. They'll just be like, oh, you don't want to do skyclad? That's fine. Just wear your clothes. We don't mind. And that's just the general thing that goes on with us. I suppose it's one of those things that is a bit confusing for some people because nudity is such a taboo thing, I suppose, and again, it's also contextual. Like, if you're alone or in a group that's accepting and you're inside or in a secluded area where, you know, somebody's not going to come across you, I suppose I'd be okay with it. I wouldn't do it, but that's me. Some people are skyclad, but they wear a robe. I wear a robe, but I wear clothes under it. Anyway. Witchcraft is a pick and mix religion. Okay, so yeah, I kind of understand that, because we don't have a Bible, we don't have any religious text or rule or solid list of rules. You know, we have themes, we have guidelines, but we don't have concrete rules to do with anything. And also, a lot of people tend to have a different god and goddess, and that is because to us, we don't have a clergyman. We don't have priests telling us who to worship. We learn for ourselves. It's said in all of this that we are each our own priest or priestess. It's, you know, nobody can tell us how to worship the god and goddess, or the god or the goddess, or both, or whatever. You know, it's totally down to the person, and that seems to scare a lot of people. Oh, how do you know this? I'll get into the theories and the theoretical side of the divinity and everything possibly in a different video, probably not this one, because this video is going to be quite long. Yeah, we tend to have different gods and goddesses, like, you know, I suppose that's life, you know. We get to choose. Well, some people are like, well, how do you know? Well, I'll cover that in a different video. The point is that, you know, we each, like, I'll have a different god and goddess to someone else, and so will they, and on and on and on. Sometimes we'll have the same, sometimes we'll have different. It's because paganism it's because paganism is such a broad spectrum of different paths and beliefs that people seem to think that we can just pick and choose whatever we want. There are guidelines, that kind of, you know, to you know, you can't, like, well, I say can't, but it's kind of advised against having, like, say, example, Egyptian god and a Celtic goddess, because they wouldn't, I mean, they might not know each other, they might, you know what I mean? Just that kind of thing. Right. Moving on. Oh, this is pretty cool. I will be covering this entire subject in a different video, but there is no proof of witchcraft and that before 50 years ago, or rather, well, 60 or more years ago now. And I would say yes, I agree. There's no actual, you know, things to prove that, you know, Wicca existed before a certain time in the 50s or 60s. Now, I will be discussing in an entire video the history of shamanism, witchcraft, paganism, all different kinds of paths that lead up to present day. That's going to be a different video. If you want that video, you know, just comment saying that, you know. Yes, I agree. There is no proof that witchcraft and Wicca existed before 50 years ago, but then you have to remember that 50 to 60 to whatever years ago, there was the Witchcraft Act, which was, if anybody's found to be a witch or has evidence of somebody practicing witchcraft, you get hung, you get tortured, you get killed. And this would, you know what I mean? This is like in the 40s, 1940s, quite recent, you know what I mean? It's only because they repealed it and we're like, yeah, this is kind of fucked up that we're doing that to people, that we slowly crept out and we're just like, yeah, no, fucking, you know? Oh, this is my favorite. I love this. Witches have hooked noses and warts. I guess this is one of those, you know, slanderous things, that witches are ugly, I suppose. I know I'm not exactly fucking handsome or anything, but, you know, I get it. It's one of those slanderous things. Also, I wouldn't be a very good witch. I'm going to be, you know, copying Kate West here, but I wouldn't be a very good witch if I couldn't get rid of my warts. Also, I don't have any warts. Also, I don't think I have a hooked nose, but still. The next one here. Witches are glamorous. I think this is, I'm going to be going with Kate West again. I think she mentions that things like the film The Craft and the TV show Charmed kind of shows these glamorous witches with, you know, looking very pretty and using magic to kind of change themselves, and they end up, you know, being very glamorous and pretty and stuff. But I'm like, well, the truth is that witches are just people. You know, we can look different. You know, we can look different from everybody. We can be glamorous, we can be ugly, we can be any spectrum in between. And the thing with witches and Wiccans and pagans is that we could literally pass you by on the street and you wouldn't even know, because we just look like everybody else. Most of the time this is hidden under a hoodie. Most people don't even know. I've even stopped and had chats with those preaching people who are handing out leaflets and stuff. And then have a chat with them about it and stuff. I don't have a go at them. I don't, you know, demean them or anything. I just, because I'm kind of interested why, you know, why they're doing it and stuff. You know, it's very interesting. Witches wear black. Well, I'm currently wearing purple. Witches wear I mean, I understand, but black is a very slimming colour. A lot of people wear black. I don't suppose everyone who wears black is gothic or a witch or anything. I just think because people like wearing black because stains are easier to hide. It's very slimming. I don't understand this stuff. I don't understand why people think this stuff about us. Yes, sometimes we wear black, but we also wear a variety of colours. Oh, witches wear pointy hats and cloaks in films. Now, yes, I that was a joke, and I wish to say that witches can wear pointy hats and they can wear cloaks. I actually have several cloaks, and I have a few robes as well. Just for clarification, the difference between a robe and a cloak is that a cloak is like a cape with a hood, and a cape is a cloak without a hood. But a robe has arms. So there you go. So yes, I guess, I mean, some wear pointy hats and cloaks, I guess. I mean, it's not a prerequisite. I think it's more of a movie Hollywood thing, I guess. I mean, I get it, you know. Some of us do wear this stuff. Sometimes we wear it for Halloween, for a laugh. Sometimes we wear it for ritual purposes or whatever. It depends on the person. But it's not like we wear cloaks and robes all the time. Some do, wish to note, some do, but I don't. I just, you know, don't want to draw too much attention to myself. And as I mentioned earlier, pointy hats and cloaks, yes, well, sometimes we wear nothing. Witches wear lots of heavy makeup and jewellery. Well, this is about as heavy jewellery as I can get, and I might wear a ring sometimes. I haven't got one right now, I guess. When it comes to heavy makeup, I mean, once again, that's down to the person. Some witches like a natural look and don't wear any makeup. Some do a little bit of makeup to get a natural makeup look. Some wear shitloads of makeup. And anything in between, you know, it's down to the person. Once again, we're just people. We're just people. We just happen to be witches at the same time. Moving on. A witch lives with a black cat or familiar. Well, I think I read that from Kate West that she was talking about how this kind of started with with how well, you know, the people who were persecuted hundreds of years ago, yes, they had a pet, and it was construed or accused that these pets were demonic or something. I mean, you know, okay, I get, you know, the demonization of a pet with somebody who's accused of witchcraft because it's just lumping them in together and stuff. A familiar is kind of complicated. Some people are like, well, it's just a pet of a witch, and others are like, no, you have to summon a spirit and make a pact or deal with it or something. I'm just like, if I'm honest, I don't know a lot about familiars. That's, yeah. My point is that I have a gecko. She's not my familiar, she's my pet. She's nothing to do with witchcraft. I didn't get her when I started witchcraft. I you know, I've only had her for 8 months. I started witchcraft 12 years ago. Okay. Witches Witches fly on brooms. Okay, another Hollywood thing. So this is kind of to do with, you know, the Hollywood thing. I mean, it may have started with Wizard of Oz. Don't quote me on it. Point is that flying on a broom. Some speculate that this may have originated, and this may be TMI or too much information, but what some witches may or may not have done is get a phallic shape item, maybe made of wood or stone, and they would slather on a psychedelic balm or oil or something, and then they would, yeah, and then they would go flying spiritually, not physically. They would, their mind would alter, and they would essentially leave their body and go flying and stuff. And this was called, you know, some witches applied it to their broom handle because, you know, 2 birds with 1 stone kind of thing, and this was called flying, you know, flying on a broom. That's only theorized. We don't, obviously, I mean, I don't know if we have any proof or anything of such a thing happening. We may have some books talking about it. Alright, moving on. I have a broom. I don't fly on it because I can't. I mean, I would if I could, you know what I mean? not not in the balm and sticking it somewhere away. No. I mean, like in Harry Potter, I'd just fucking fly off, you know what I mean? Witches brew potions in a cauldron. Okay, this is, you know, that's pretty standard. We have tended to move on from cauldrons because they're a pain in the ass to heat up and clean, and now I mean, some witches do, you know, still use a cauldron simply for belief reasons or traditional reasons. For some of us, we tend to make potions and salves and oils and all kinds of different things in just regular, easy to clean things like a saucepan or something, and then, you know, we do it and bottle it up or whatever. You're just like, whoa, what kind of potions are these? I mean, do they turn you into a frog? No, don't be stupid. It's not. No, it's mostly like a balm that you can put on some bad skin, you know, and it helps. That's the majority of it, you know. Right. Well, that seems to be about it, you know, for now. I you know, thank you for listening so far. In the next video, I will be going over essentially the basics of witchcraft and Wicca, and maybe some paganism too. Simply because, you know, I don't want to be sat here for like an hour or 2 talking about the basics and the myths and then some other stuff. So I'm going to be splitting these kind of topics up into various videos. And right, so once again, thank you for watching. Please, like and share the videos so others can learn of our ways, or learn the truth about witchcraft and Wicca, because a lot of myths and bullshit going around. Anyway, so please like and share and subscribe if you want to. Thank you.